Good day to you. I am LionHeartBlue and welcome to the continuation of my AI car series. If I sound a little bit less enthusiastic today than I normally do, that's because yesterday I had my second vaccine and I'm feeling pretty under the weather today, but this is the only opportunity I've got to get this video recorded. So let's get cracking. So following the last episode I had some brilliant comments from you lot, some in the comment section under the video and some on my Discord. There was a suggestion to potentially use like a traffic light system, which would make a lot of sense as this is sort of a crossroad type thing. But one thing I wasn't aware of is if you can actually sense coloured light. So just as a test, I've set up this little traffic light here, and these sensors, each sensor is set up to detect the colour. If it does detect the colour, then this light should light up. So in other words, the sensor's on. I haven't tested it yet, so I thought we'd test it together. I wasn't aware that this is a thing, so I'd be surprised if it works, but let's see. So if I turn this on, okay, so the sensor can detect light colour. I suppose that actually makes sense, but I assumed it was only kind of blocks rather than light that it would detect, but so that would work. Let's get 3 more switches down and just attach these to each light for now. So obviously if oh, hang on. Oh, so there you go. It doesn't work because it's detecting the colour of the light itself, not the fact that the light is on. But I guess you could use logic. Say if this light is off. Oh, you probably couldn't because it's not part of this. It's not part of this vehicle. In fact, I think Seraph did something similar with blocks under the road in his automatic farm. But I don't think I've got enough clearance. So, or obviously I could raise this up. But I want this car running around in my ScrapChat village, which is only 1 block off the ground. So I don't think I've got enough clearance underneath to have like a block that the car senses. Let me have a quick look at the other comments and I'll come back. So another suggestion, actually I had one suggestion from Germanite who suggested that I didn't bother turning straight away. I had a sensor on the front which detects this wall and then starts turning right. That would probably be the simplest. I could have something out the front like these ones here pointing down, and if it detects the grey it can turn right. So I might try that. Yeah, so sorry if I butcher the name, but it's Youssef Ben Hunes suggested I had used these 2 timers to control the actual turning. So one controls the left side, one controls the right, and that means I could sort of move forwards constantly but have the right turning less to turn right, for example. And then so I'd need another timer to control the stopping, and then I'd need another 2 timers to control it going left, and therefore I was thinking about some sort of randomizer, and I was wondering if I could kind of miniaturize this kind of thing, and then this could be attached to an engine and it would spin, and then these are set up as switches, and then whichever one it's stopped on, for example, or none of them. So like if they're none are selected, so we could say that's right, or something like that, and then if it does switch one on, like this one, it could go left, or if they're both on it could go left, something like that, or do it with colours. But realistically I don't know how I'm going to miniaturize it. It's not very accurate. I'd probably need more sensors, and I'm trying to keep this as simple and as minimalist as possible. So I think what we're going to attempt is the timer to stop it, and then it will start driving forwards, and I'm going to have a sensor that's going to detect this to turn right. So I'm going to get that set up, and we'll see how we go from there. I'm also going to add, which we've been screaming for since the beginning, was the sensors on the front here, which will it would detect something in front, so they won't crash into other vehicles or any buildings, things like that. So let me sort that out, and I will come back. Okay, it's been a fair bit of time. Let me just show you what I've done. So I've added these 4 on the front, so you can see the ones that are lighting up, so they detect anything in front, up to about 5 blocks. So like here it won't stop, so I might increase it, and that will stop the car from moving, which is fine, that works. Then I've got these 2 on the front. Now I haven't tested this yet, I'm still trying to work it out. I've got one that detects black and one that detects white. So all the time the car sees black or white, in other words, oh, going the wrong way. So this is black and then this is white. I don't want them to do anything. As soon as they detect grey or anything that's not black or white, so even if there's nothing here, so even if it sees the end, they will turn, well, I'm hoping they'll turn right, which should mean they travel in the correct direction whenever they see that. But at the moment I'm struggling a little bit because it's starting to get, even with my little nodes, it's starting to get a little bit hard to see. As you can see here, this is what I struggle with. These little node images that I added last week, thanks to Germanite's video, are really helpful. But now I'm struggling to see what I've attached where, and it probably would have made sense if I had not bunched all of the hang on, if I had not bunched all the logic gates together, and maybe if I'd spread them out so it's a little bit more obvious which was going to what was going to what. It would be nice if there was a way to isolate them in some way. I think that'd be horrendously difficult to achieve, but if you could say, like, you know, you want to see everything that's attached to this logic gate, for example, and then it just disconnects or doesn't show up the others. Anyway, that's not something that I'm aware of that's possible. So I can show you the stopping. What I did, if you haven't noticed as well, is I moved these timers. They were in front, and then obviously once I put these sensors on I couldn't see them, and I haven't reconnected them up, so when it stops on this white line it does nothing at the moment. That's why I can't test the next bit yet, but we'll get to that in a minute. But at least I can show you the car stopping. You see when it sees someone, if I move away, it sees me and it stops. So that bit's working. Then when we get to the line, it stops, but the timer's not connected. So I'm going to get that reconnected so that it at least drives forwards, and then when it sees this, it should start turning right. So let me reconnect that, because I can't remember how I did it. I might have to look at last week's video, and I'll come back. Okay, so I've added these ones on the corner as well, because I'm assuming when it stopped there, if there could be a car coming this way, and I want it to be able to sense there's a car on the corners as well. I do imagine though that when I start using this in the ScrapChat village, that's going to start detecting the houses or fences, and it's probably going to cause a problem, so I might have to get rid of them and just rely on the fact that if there's a car coming this way, it will hopefully see that one and stop, assuming they're travelling at the same time. But I don't think it's going to be that easy. There's going to be a few collisions, I imagine. I've reattached one of the timers. As you know, all we're trying to do now is get it to stop on this white line for a little bit. So I did put it to 3 seconds, but obviously there's a cooldown on the timer as well, so I've halved it to, unless I'm doing something wrong, it's 1.5 seconds, and then there's a 1.5 second cooldown. Now, what Germanite suggested, which was having these on the front that detected this wall, I don't think I've implemented it the way he's expecting, and the reason I haven't is because I'm trying to account for the fact that there might not be a wall there. So if you imagine that it senses this, or the edge of a road, or anything that's not black road, so the fact that that's what I'm doing, and probably not the implementation that Germanite was quite suggesting. It doesn't really work. I mean, it does what I'm telling it to, but it can't work the way it is unless those sensors there are sticking out a lot further. Because we get here, it senses this, and it's trying to turn right, but obviously it can't move because of that wall, or even here, it will just end up falling off. Let me demonstrate. Assuming this is going to work, I'll turn it on. We should stop. You see it stops, there's the cool down, and then there's the cool down, and then off it goes. And it senses there. You see the right side stopped moving, the left side's, well, it was moving, but now we're off this wall completely. So these sensors, I need to think about how that could work. Probably if they were facing the front, and I could do it like, say, even 10 blocks. Look, I'll do it, and then maybe I'll have to put a wall around the road or something like that. So I think we're looking like some evil kind of spider at the moment. These things are sticking out a little bit far because of the way I put the pipes on. I'll have to redo this front end so it's not quite as ugly, but it does work. So what Jonah suggested is ideal. It just means having to add this wall around ScrapChat and making sure it's painted, because I hadn't actually painted it. So you'll see that this is its original colour, and this I've kind of painted grey. Can I show you an example? You can see the slight difference there. This one's painted, this one isn't, but it does work. Here we go. If I could turn it on, I can't line up with the button. There we go. So it'll do its thing. It'll stop. In fact, if I get off, then it goes. You see it detects that, and it starts turning, and we're done. And it turns, and off it drives. And it should stop. Yep, stops because it no longer detects the road, and it will just wait. It won't do anything. So it won't go driving off into the distance, which is a good thing. As you probably know, in my ScrapChat village, I actually have bits of road that are unfinished, and it's got traffic cones. I don't think this is going to cope with that very well, but we're getting there. This has been a lot longer than I expected it to be. I've been doing this for 2 hours now, believe it or not. I think we're kind of close. I don't think I'll worry right now, maybe for this version 1, for it deciding to turn left or right. I think turning right, getting it to go right around the ScrapChat village is enough. So for now, thank you very, very much for watching. If there's any improvements you think I can make to this, please do let me know down in the comments or on my Discord. I do read everything, because I don't have... it's not like I'm swarmed, so I do appreciate everything you write. If you've enjoyed this, please give us a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit the notification bell so you get notified of future videos. See you in the next episode. Take care.